Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Oh, hold on one second. We do have 10 a.m. news. So let's have that reminder there. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Chris, Enrico, Corey, Jeremy, Max. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Rich. Enrico, you used the last cell. You used my code. Thank you. I appreciate that. So it does not tell me who in particular uses my code or whatnot. So yeah, what Chris said. Right. Exactly. So you just see a cell, but you don't see who. But thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So what I'm actually looking for today is a manipulation to the downside, potentially. We did not really even get an opening range gap at all. See, we have the close. I mean, it was little bitty, few ticks. Thank you, Fatima. Yeah, I definitely appreciate it, everybody. If you use my code, it helps out for sure. Helps keep the stream going and everything. Just you know, if you get any value, that I would definitely appreciate that for sure. So I'm on the 5-minute here. So I was looking for some manipulation down, and so let's back up first though. Let's go to this daily chart. This is yesterday I mentioned all this buy side liquidity up here. A lot of buy side liquidity. We did run down, as we know, and we did not recover up here. So today we'll see if we rebalance this at all. If not, then we're gonna have a fair value gap here. So I'm still, unless we take these lows today or this week, for this week, I'm still remaining neutral because, and I'm looking for this to get ran up here at some point, but in the meantime, I have to remain neutral and kind of rely more on my lower time frames. So if I go to the 15-minute, what I'm looking for is, because I do believe price is gonna make its way up here. Let me actually, is it the 1 hour? Yeah, because we do have this new week opening gap here. Lots of buy side liquidity up there. When it does it, we don't know for sure, but we have this area of smoothness up here now. That's the London high. So really what I'm looking for is today is to draw, manipulate somewhere, either these lows, which we just kind of did, these relatively equal lows, maybe this one. I don't think we reached down this low because it delivered pretty well here. So I'm looking at potentially this low getting ran, but these relatively equal lows is what I was mainly looking for. So, which we just did that. Then, like I said, we have that 10 a.m. news as well. So, and this isn't great manipulation. Like I would want to see some actual good manipulation, and then potential run above the London high with a maybe reach for the midpoint of the opening range gap yesterday. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and also mark out this as a sell side liquidity area to watch. And then I also have this here, this 15-minute fair value gap that I marked out because we already reached down into that yesterday. And that's the low of the opening range gap from yesterday. So I'm going to have it here because we could see a drawdown here, even though I don't think we will. But I have it there just in case if price sweeps these lows and just kind of keeps going down as an area to watch. Let's see. And then we have, yesterday's low is way down there. And we still, like I said, and today we have these new day opening gaps in here. So we're kind of bouncing around them. I still think we're going to make our way up to this area at some point. Some point. We'll see. But I'm looking for manipulation down first and then a reversal. A sweep and reversal. Let's see. What else do we have here? Let's check out the 1 hour. Because, see, the 1 hour, it made that run down. And then when it came up, pulled back here, it's kind of traded well to the downside here. So not really any areas of smoothness that it needs to go and run out. So again, that's also why I'm thinking we kind of do our manipulation down somewhere in this area and then distribute up. And this was that new volume imbalance on the daily as well. That goes, lines up perfectly with basically it was the new week opening gap. So we shall see. We shall see. Go to my 1 minute chart here, see what we got going on in the one. That's 931 right there. So this is going to be our first presented fair value gap right here. First presented fair value gap. You see it reached right up into it, London low, and it's running that sell side. That's not a trade I take. I actually noticed when I was going to ICT's channel a few times that he's taken some of these trades. If he's expecting a sweep or a run to, say sell side like this, when it pulls up into here, he's taking it to go and basically trade the manipulation or potential manipulation, because we don't know for sure if that's what's going to happen. $20,800. I think we will. I guess maybe I kind of just talked about that, but at some point, I don't want to anticipate only like having to get up there, but I think we will. Maybe after Wednesday, because we have Fed funds rate tomorrow, which, by the way, again, just a reminder, I won't be trading tomorrow morning or at all because I don't like to trade the afternoon. But maybe after that, and then the rest of the week into next week, we work our way up there. Maybe. But again, I'm at some point it should, because it typically doesn't leave things unbalanced for a long time. Like it will, but it'll eventually come back. And that's why at the moment I'm still neutral overall until we take these lows on the daily chart, where it takes these lows and it leaves this fair value gap. Then I can switch back bearish. But I'm still not very convinced that'll happen, just because of, with the macroeconomics, and especially in the US, there's a lot of, I guess, manual intervention, not in the form of like what ICT talks about, but in politics. Like, they'll keep kicking the can down the road forever. They'll keep printing money. They'll keep doing everything. Doesn't matter who it is. They'll keep doing everything to keep propping up a fake economy. So do I think it's just they're going to let things correct? Eventually, I feel like this is a whole nother, I guess, topic. But eventually, I feel like things have to get corrected. Eventually. But will it happen anytime soon? I don't know. For the past 8 years, I've thought it was going to happen, but it never did. They just kept kicking the can down the road, printing money, doing everything they can. So do I think we're going to go super ultra bearish? I don't think we will. I think we'll eventually come up here before we have a really nice correction. We'll see though. Could be wrong. up into this. So here's an area I want to watch, this fair value gap here, right? Because we're sweeping these sell side, this sell side, both these sell side areas, right? So I want to see a fair value gap get inverted. Um, and actually, I don't want to see this one get inverted yet, to be honest, because we're still pretty early. What I would like to see happen is, I'll tell you right now what I'd like to see happen. I'd like to see this, the 5-minute chart. I would like to see this bar close down, and I would like to see us get a 5-minute fair value gap right here. This is what I'd like to see. Right here, a 5-minute fair value gap, and then invert it. That's what I like to see. Then that would tell me we're going to run these highs up here. So that would be my preferred scenario. So we have 3 minutes and 40 seconds before that happens. I'm going to leave it here so I don't forget. But if it doesn't happen, I have to, remember to remove it. So this fair value gap has not formed officially yet. Actually, I'm just going to watch it on my other chart. I don't want to confuse anybody or myself until it actually happens. So remember, a sweep, it doesn't have to just barely poke through to be a sweep. It can stay down here, but then whenever market structure shifts and it changes, you want to see it come back above. I'm going to mark this. I don't think it reaches, like I said, I don't think it reaches down here, but I'm going to mark this area just in case. I already have that 15-minute fair value gap, so I'm going to mark this low just in case if it does want to sweep that. And like I said yesterday, I'm going to focus more on the 2022 model like I was in reversals. That way, because I spot those well, so I'll wait for a reversal. If it doesn't happen, doesn't happen. And I just realized my personal live account is not connected right now. So let me connect that real quick. Or else I'll take a trade in demo and not copy. And that will be frustrating. I always check that, but I guess today I did not. So there we go. And that's how you know, these buttons should be solid to know I'm connected to my, and you can see trade of 8 down here with the green lit up. Otherwise, it would look like this. Nothing down here, and then not solid. So that's how you know I'm trading. I'm actually trading. Again, 10 a.m. news too. So we'll see what the 950 macro does in the 10 a.m. news. I'm really anticipating, to be honest, a trade between or after 10 a.m. So we'll just let it draw and manipulate down. And that's the good thing, right? Okay. So if you keep it simple, that's what I'm trying to do as well. I'm trying to keep it simple. If you keep it simple, and if you know or don't know yet, there's the power of 3, right? Which is accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Exactly, Chris. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. So if the power of 3 contains that, you want to see some accumulation, then you want to see manipulation, then distribution. If you wait for manipulation first, and you have an area where it could distribute, for example, I'm saying I believe price will make a way up, run up at some point. before all this happened here, we had this area of smoothness right up here, right? We had relatively equal lows right here, and then this low. So if that's the case, that the power of 3 is factual, or if it typically happens, then you would wait for manipulation first, right? So if you want manipulation first, then it has to go in the opposite direction of the way you think, your trade will go. So that's why I said, if I'm looking for longs, I want price to open and manipulate to the downside. So here's the keep it simple part. As it's going down, I'm going to assume that's manipulation. So in order for me to trade, I need my whole market structure shift, my PD raise, all that stuff, and I need it to draw somewhere and then head the other way. And then that should be the distribution. Now, the simple part is, if it just keeps going down, well, I might have missed the manipulation, and maybe it's not manipulation. It's just going to keep running. So that's my signal of I should not take a trade for me, not for y'all or whoever else, trades whatever model you're trading. But for me, if it just keeps running down, that's not going to be my manipulation. It's not going to manipulate 1,000 points. Well, I guess anything's possible, but it's typically not going to manipulate 500, a crazy amount of points, and then run up 1,000 points up, like maybe during COVID or something. But otherwise, if it just keeps running, then it's just going to keep going. It's going to draw and it'll stay there. So that's like a good way of looking at it. What inversion are you talking about, Chris? Inversion got respected on the 1 minute? So this is a reclaimed fair value gap. This would be a fair value gap here. And then, yeah, technically inverted it, and then it closed back underneath this, so it's reclaimed. This is just a rebalance right here to allow price to continue down. Yeah, we got that 5 minute one. That's what I wanted. And again, I'm waiting for the sweep. So here's a 5 minute right there. And then we got this 1 minute here. So now this is looking great. It's manipulating down at the moment. And then if we take these highs up here, we would have a breaker right here. If we take this high. Because we have a low, high, lower low, and if we make a higher high above this, then this would be a breaker, a bullish breaker right there. But price has to come up and take this swing high first. But I'm just showing, because you have, you have this low, high, lower low, and then if you make a higher high right here. I hate that drawing tool. I need to stop using it. Always puts these little dots everywhere. So we'll see if this is a order block though first, right here. Look at the body. See if this is a bearish order block for the moment. If it is, it'll respect the open here and at least midpoint. And if it is, it very well could draw it down to this area. Not anything I'm looking to trade, but and you see right here at the open, all of these relatively highs here, this wick up took that minor buy side liquidity there to run it down. But yeah, we took that high. So we have Let's see where price closes, but we have, well, and we closed just above the midpoint. It's not quite acting as a breaker, but we'll see if price closes above this or not. And this could potentially be a bullish order block as well. See that? How this bar reached below these lows and then came up. Price respected the opening right there. This potentially could be a breaker. We have the 950 macro now. We also have, let me leave this inversion here that was a reclaimed inversion, reclaimed, inverted. Now I would love to see this get inverted here. But see, we have an order block. We saw it use it right here. We have a breaker. We have an inversion. And we may get a fair value gap here. Look at it go. I want to see it invert these. If it comes back into this fair value gap, I'm not going to go long yet. I'm going to wait and see if it wants to come back into this area a little bit. But I'll be ready, though. We have that news pretty soon. That's the only thing. We haven't inverted that 5-minute gap yet either. We may not go any lower. I want to see if we come back at least to this area right here around the 220. It may not. So use the fair value gap here. It's just we have a lot down here for it to potentially use, but we'll see. It might not. We're really close to the news too. I don't like that. I'm going to wait, though, because we have 5 minutes till the news, and it could draw it back down. I mean, news could shoot it just up, but it could also draw it down here as well first. So, potential of me missing a trade by waiting, but okay, so we did invert that 5-minute now. That 5-minute gap is inverted. and this 1 minute. So now if it does come back down in this area, I probably will go long. I just hate being that close to news because the news can make the wicks do some damage. Yeah, the stop is pretty big. I'm trading really small right now though, but because this area, I mean, you'd need a pretty large stop. So I'm still gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait. I can't get impatient because we still have a lot of room to go to the upside. Bouncing off that first presented fair value gap, the news very well could overshoot something in this area. I don't think we go back lower than this. So yeah, I'm gonna wait. We also have like, let's see. What I'll likely do is, depending what price does here, if it just runs up and just keeps going, unfortunately, I might miss a trade. However, if it comes up and inverts this first presented fair value gap, and I get another like fair value gap that's holding pretty well, I may look for, I guess, a smaller scalp to somewhere, like maybe up here or somewhere in this area, maybe London High, if I can take the continuation on a PD array that it should not close under if it's going to continue, if that makes sense. Yeah, we definitely could, Benton. Because for the longest, I mean, there's a lot of sell side liquidity areas for sure down in even under 20,000 that I was looking at. I just don't know if, the government officials, the IMF, and all those places will allow that to happen without intervening. So we'll see. My London high is up here, 405.25. What time was it set? Let's see. We got 5 a.m., 2 a.m. Right there, there's the high at 4 a.m. All right, you see market's kind of stalling a little bit here because, well, we are in that first presented fair value gap, hitting the London low, but also a minute till news. Let's see where that 4-hour bar is right now. We're here. Mark out the 4-hour high and low just to see if it wants to sweep it anywhere. I don't think it'll be a sweep though, because I think it'll keep going up. There's a 4-hour high right there. That'd be a good target, actually. All right, 10 seconds. Yep. I guess it's just going to deliver now. We'll see. It's hitting the midnight opening price, which that's another thing. if we're going to go long for the day, you'd have your open, low, high, close. So we opened, now we went low. See if I go to the 15-minute. Here's the opening price. Well, we kind of actually been back and forth between above and below the midnight opening price. So yeah, this would have been a nice entry right here at this 1 minute fair value gap. But with all this below, I was curious to see if we would reach back down into any of it. But that's a risk, you know. You either get in way up here and have a larger stop, or you wait for price to come back down into some of this stuff, have a smaller stop, but risk losing like missing out on the trade. So this fair value gap right here, if we get this one, I may consider going long there because it lines up with everything for me, and I'll just have my stop right under these lows, which is under this first presented fair value gap. If it even comes back. If not, this may be a runaway train and I missed out on a trade today. So, and that's okay. I'm not worried about it. Nice. Yeah, it was a large stop loss for sure. 235. I mean, you would have had to be down at least under here. I mean, that's 50 points. All right, so we may not. This may just run away. We'll see. Hitting the new day opening gap high. I mean, it's gone up over 100 points from down here now. We have this fair value gap now. I don't quite trust this one because I think it may come back here. We'll see. Again, if I got in here, I'd have a very large stop loss. So I'm okay with missing it without having these really large stop losses. If it comes back down to this area, I would get in because then I could get in here and have my stop right under this, which is under the first presented fair value gap, and it shouldn't trade below that. But yeah, this was the entry right here at the 953 bar. That was the entry of the day right there. And technically you could have, so like you still would have been a large stop loss because you got in here at about 235, and to be underneath this bar here, you'd have at least minimum, no matter where you got in, you would have needed at least a 45-point stop. I don't know. It's pretty big. Now, if we do come back down into this one, start building up some support here, I may consider entering it to run up to last week's low, but we're looking a little more like I may not get anything today because I think we're just going to continue pushing. 4-hour London high. Yeah, we should. Let's see. I think we should take this 4-hour London high. That's what I'd be looking at. So like I said, I may consider something if we get here, but I'll need it to show me that it's going to build up some support there. I wouldn't just get in if it, touches it. This little fair value gap here. Every single PD array is holding right now. So it may not come back. It may just keep using every single PD array to push higher. Hit the middle of that wick right there on that down close candle. Yeah, I'm not seeing a reason for it to come back below this area. I mean, with my reduction in contracts, I technically could have traded this and had my stop down here, but that defeats the point of the reason why I went lower contracts because I wanted to limit my risk. So that would have, even though that would have been still within my money management, I would not be limiting my risk. Now you gotta be careful too, though. Like, let's say it does pull back into any of these areas and you're looking to long, you gotta be careful it doesn't displace down into one of those areas. That's where what you don't want to happen. Because if it displaces down, it may, as I said, I'm neutral overall at the moment between being bullish and bearish. So it's not it's not guaranteed. I'm not guaranteed that I think it's going to run all the way up there. I think the likelihood is that it will, but if you see some major displacement down, then you can't ignore what you're seeing. See, and we didn't make it down here where I said I had these two sell side liquidity areas and I marked it as just in case. But as I said, I didn't think it would get there. All right, see, look, you got to be careful here. And this is why I would not just long right here. You got to be careful that it doesn't displace through. Like, I don't think, like, this could be a bullish order block just reaching down. But you got to wait. You just got to wait. Be careful. Since, that's because I'm neutral overall at the moment. See, reaching down. Yeah, see. Doesn't look like it's going to displace, but we don't know yet. Now, here's something to watch. If we do happen to get this fair value gap right here, this bearish fair value gap right here, then I would look to see if it gets inverted fairly quickly. If it does, then we're just going to keep pushing up. Now, if we do push down in this area and we start building support anywhere, I would still be open to going long. Just got to be careful. See, yesterday, this is where we struggled at last. We swept last week low and went down. So if they're going to try to keep price bearish, then they would keep price below this last week's low. So we'll see. I say they, I'm talking about like institutions or hedge funds or whoever. See, I'd look for this to get inverted and not used as resistance to continue down. Because now what do you have? You have a lot of contradiction, a lot of conflicting things happening. We do have a brand new 5-minute fair value gap right here. I think this gets inverted. I don't think we go lower, but you kind of got to wait. Because it could come back down a little bit into this. Let's see. Where's the equilibrium of this range? Right here, 264.50. That's a possibility. We're in the upper quadrant of it right now. It is building up some support, but like I said, we have this fair value gap now, so I would want to see this get inverted or at least rebalanced. If we get a fair value gap in here, I'll probably get in to go long, have a stop right below this, and get in to go long and take it, try to take it up to this. You'd have to watch this 15-minute fair value gap here, but I think it'll make it up to the London high or 4-hour high. And that way, that'd be a 52. It'd be still a decent size stop. Man. See, this one it's about to get inverted. Might be getting fair value gap there. Could even take it if it comes back into this inversion, but I would like to see a fair value gap here. Then you can enter. I'm not just taking the inversion, though. Look at that. Last week's low. Hit that 15-minute fair value gap. It's a little risky at the moment. I want to see a fair value gap right here. And I want to see it hold this area hold right here. And distribute up. It also may run away too. But because you got to be careful here as well of a potential sweep of this last week low. I think the draw is too strong to get up there, though. I think we get up there. Now, if I get an entry, that's another question. Let's see. If he comes back here, I'll probably go long. I'm going to stop right underneath this low. 14. It's like a 34-point stop. If not, if we just go up and take that 4-hour high, then I'm out. Then I'm done. I'm not getting the trade today. And but still, the best entry was right here. 953 bar. All right, we got another little fair value gap right there. Hitting this 15-minute fair value gap. So that should be enough to send it back down to this area. I just want to see how far it goes down first. This fair value gap, it may not reach back down, but we'll see. We have this inversion right here. We got to make sure it's not taking a higher high to sweep this area and then come back down. I don't think so, but we'll see. See, and this is a critical area too, because if price is going to try to go bearish, it should stay below this last week low. If it's going to go bullish or remain neutral, then it could go up. I'm pretty convinced price delivers up here, though. So if it comes down to this area, I think I'm just going to go long there regardless. Because I'm very convinced we go up above 412. Let's make this bigger because I'm focused on this area right now. It is building up some support right here in this fair value gap. So it may not. I don't know. Let's see if it reaches down. Not quite a 2-to-1, almost. If it reaches down there. This is kind of cool. I was thinking about doing this. The reason why I take market orders as well is because if I have a limit sitting there, I have 20 accounts and I trade multiple micros. So if it taps in and hits a limit and goes, there's a high chance that all my orders won't get filled in all my accounts. So that's why I always use market orders. But I noticed in this little trading thing here for TradingView, I could set this up and you see how my stop and everything continues to move and fluctuate because I have it set here. So it's based on price where it is, but I can switch it to market and just hit buy when it hits my area and it'll throw in my stop and target exactly where I want it. So I was thinking about doing that. But yeah, you see this fair value gap held pretty good right here, this support. That's how you do it, Benton? Yeah, because it is nice for it to throw in the target and stop for you versus entering it in like I normally do. And then that way, one order cancels the other. So if it hits target, it cancels my stop, or it hits stops, it cancels my target. Versus, when I'm trading, if it hits one or the other, then I got to go and remember to close the other side. So, and then you can see like my leader is with 1 micro. So I can see right now my risk reward is not good. So by the time price gets down here, then it'd be better. Yeah, I only use market just because of that, getting all my accounts filled. Otherwise, it won't fill all my accounts. I mean, we're slowly climbing up there. I don't know that we come back. And if we do, I don't know if I want to even take it. Let's see. What time is it? 10:21. Still convinced we get up there, though. We'll see. No, I don't think it allows that. I haven't been able to find that, Steven. That would be awesome. That actually, when I was trying to do that one time, yeah, it filled me right away. It wasn't market if touched. I was like, crap. So yeah, the only things I have here is a limit, stop limit, and a market. I wish it had that. And actually, it's Tradeovate that doesn't allow, like, if you had AMP futures or something else, I could literally mark it in and then just drag a stop and take profit. Like, it's really nice. But Tradeovate had TradingView disable that for them. For what reason? I have no clue. All right. Yep. I'm not going to get a trade. It's already made it up there. Nice. Good job. You got in right here. I think I saw you say you got in at the middle of this fair value gap here. So yeah, that was a good entry too. That was a good entry. I was considering it, but I wanted to see this get inverted and then this gap happen and then come into here and then go, but oh well. But here's the thing too, whether you got a trade or not. If you got a trade, good job, congrats. If you didn't get a trade, the key is if you got the market correct. That's like the most important thing. Like if you got it correct, as in, like I said, from 9:30, whenever I hopped on the stream, I said I was looking for a manipulation down and distribute up. And for all the reasons, right? And then that's what happened. So that's like the most important thing. If you can get that right, then there's going to be days you get trades. There's going to be days you don't get trades. But that's the most important thing, is knowing what price should do. And look at it really distribute up. I mean, it did exactly what I thought it should do. I just didn't get a trade, which kind of sucks. But oh well. This was the best entry right here. I was waiting for it to pull down a little further, but we had that entry. I knew we had news. News didn't really do too much, just kept it going. This was another good entry right here. This 1009 bar, and then then it finished its distribution up. So where it goes from here, it could sweep, go lower. It could just keep displacing up, distributing up. I really thought today we have a good potential of hitting the middle of this opening range gap, and eventually we'll see if it keeps making its way up there. But for me, that's it. I had like my analysis. It played through my analysis and my framework, and that's it. That's all I can do. I missed the trade. I come back Thursday because, like I said, I won't be here tomorrow. So, and this happens, and that's why I'm focusing more on this, because this happens pretty much every day. Like, pretty much every day. Every now and then you'll see the days like we've seen before where it just keeps running, and those are the days that I just don't need to take a trade, and everything will be just great. Yeah, Max, no trades for you. No problem. Again, look at my P&L right there at the top of my screen. It is blank, which means it's not red. Preservation of capital is a thing. But if you can get all this right, you're going to have plenty of days where you get trades. Plenty. So this is a great, so like even today, like even now, I'm going to screenshot this, right? And then like, let's say you screenshot this, you save it for review. And then the next day or another day, you take a trade and it loses. Compare the charts. Did it look like this? Like, this is clean to me. This is beautiful, right? And then another day, if you take a loss and then you see, oh, it just kept running and I took a trade. Well, it didn't look like the beautiful day. So like the visual is very good. And you can even print these out and look at them side by side, put them on top of a desk, and you'll start spotting it. Like, man, every time the market looks like this, I do good. Every time the market doesn't look like this, it doesn't look good. I don't do good. Then at that point, you just wait for the market to look like this if that's how you're trading. So, yeah. Dip under 400 might have to go long. Yeah, I don't think we're going to come. I think we may keep going today. I don't see a reason at this point for price, unless if it hits this midpoint right here, 511.75. That'd be the only, but at that point, I really think we may, that mid 500s for today, if it needs a breather, like, it's price doesn't always just go forever, right? So maybe around that area and stop. But yeah, I don't think it's just going to revert. I think that's our low of the day, actually, down here. I don't see us going any lower. This was our manipulation. I think we just keep distributing up. And if anything, just kind of like hang around here. But we'll see. We'll see. That's none of my concern until Thursday. I won't look at anything until Thursday and then evaluate the market. It's just what I do. Yeah, exactly, Max. Max said 2 main rules in trading. Rule number 1, preserve your capital. Rule number 2, see number 1. But see, and here's the thing, and I say this all the time. If we know in trading, there's like a 90% plus failure rate, so only 10% or less actually are profitable. If that's the case, like your number one goal should be to survive. Like, how do I just survive and not be the 90%? Like, and you'll hear this in a lot of places. 90% of people lose 90% of their money in the first 90 days. So, like, survive and then refine and then get better and then become profitable. Yeah, Royce. That's something that is good as good as well. That I like and I've watched before. So in this scenario, manipulation down. See, look at all this accumulation, manipulate down, and we're distributing up. What's likely to happen is we're going to get, in less than a minute, this 15-minute fair value gap. So if you look, because price is fractal, right? All these time frames are fractal. What could happen anyways, we took these highs. So that's a market structure shift, right? With a fair value gap displacement. So it could pull right back down into here at some point. It'll draw somewhere, pull down to here. And that could be an area to get a long from to continue up. I mean, yeah, that's a very possibility as well. A good possibility. So anyways, let me grab my screenshot here. Yeah, it's 10:30 now, so I'm going to hop off stream. I'm just going to grab my screenshot, mark it up, and again, study it. Study it. This is beautiful. And I'll be back Thursday. I won't be back tomorrow. I'll be back Thursday. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for joining. Hit the like button, please. I do have some more stuff coming out soon that I think traders and you all could benefit from. So more to that pretty soon. And yeah, if you're going to keep trading, as always, trade well and take care. See y'all later.